Hello students, welcome to Btech360. Today I am going to talk of one more GFTI, which is Government Funded Technical Institute, which is NIFTEM, which is also called the National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management. Now these are two institutes that you have, one in Thanjavur and one in Sonipat, which is close to Delhi NCR, and the other one in Thanjavur. The important thing that you must know is that most of the students who go there also go through the JOSA counseling, and which is where we are covering it here. A lot of you know that about 45 plus GFTS, which is Government Funded Technical Institute, use a JOSA counseling process to have students intake done for themselves. Now, the important question that students must ask for is NIFTEM a good institute at the score and rank that you get in JEE Main and in JEE Advanced also, whichever is relevant? Is it a good enough institute for you to go through, join one of these institutions? Or is it that you can actually use a score for a better course in a better college with a better student outcome, which is placements? Which is what I'm going to discuss now, because NIFTEM goes through JOSA counseling and some of the best students of India actually go and join that place. There are about 45 plus government funded technical institutes, of which some are specialized. Like for example, when you look at NFSU, which is National Forensic Science University, or the university which is done by the Railway Ministry, these are all universities which are actually admitting students from JOSA counseling. But is it a good place for you for your student outcome, for the kind of quality and merit that you have? That is something that you must understand. Before I move further and talk about it, can you please subscribe to Btech360 right now? Now the important thing, we're talking of NIFTEM. What is NIFTEM meant for? NIFTEM is meant for a student who should join NIFTEM, and if they were, it's a specialized career, by the way, you must be very clear. And the specialized career is in food technology, food processing, FMCG, nutrition, packaging, and food safety or food entrepreneurship. Only if you're interested in those kind of spaces, then NIFTEM is a space for you. If you're looking for a CSE, AI and those kind of things, NIFTEM is not the place for you. If you're looking at the kind of packages and salaries that you get from CSE, AI and any of the CS programs, NIFTEM is not meant for you. It's a specialized program. And that is something that you must be very aware of. It is ideal for a student who likes applied science. It can be chemistry, biology, machines, labs, quality testing and product development. Then NIFTEM is meant for you. If you want a real industry career in food companies, in FMCG, in dairy, in packaged foods, in food labs, cold chains or exports, then NIFTEM is meant for you, right? If you're comfortable with labs and factories, that is not, and it's not a laptop friendly thing where you actually sit on a laptop and do something, then NIFTEM is meant for you. If you're looking at a laptop friendly environment, no, NIFTEM is not meant for you, right? And it's a niche BTech. It's not a generic engineering degree. I was very clear about that, because the thing is, because the admission is also happening through JOSA counseling, lot of students who get very good ranks and scores, because they want to get into public institution, take any institution and any course that they get through the JOSA counseling process. In which case, you're not using your JEE Main rank well. It is far better that you jump onto some other private institution, ask for a scholarship from there because you actually have a good rank, and then deal with it from that perspective, then just join any institution, any course, even if you are not interested in that, which is where we are doing this particular video, right? And a student should avoid NIFTEM if they only want CSE, AI, software jobs or high package items. That is very, very clear thing. If you are looking at high packages and all, NIFTEM will not get you that high package. The salary here is about 6 lakh, 5 lakh, 4 lakh and so on and so forth. And I'm talking of median salary, which means the lowest salary can be about 3 lakhs also possibly. We don't have the lowest salary number, right? NIFTEM is for students who want to turn science into food products, from lab to factory, from farm to shelf, and from idea to entrepreneurship. If you're looking for CSE, AI, high packages, then NIFTEM is not meant for you. Let me give you data to help you understand what is NIFTEM, how many students, what kind of ranks, and what kind of salaries that they have, so that you can actually exactly understand. Now let's look at NIFTEM. As I told you, there are two campuses. One is in Sonipat and one is in Thanjavur. Now the Thanjavur one actually was earlier a different institution which was converted to a NIFTEM because it already existed. It was existed for about 75 plus years. But they renamed it into a NIFTEM Thanjavur. NIFTEM Sonipat came in 2012 and was declared an INI, which is an institution of national importance, in 2021. But the institution was there since 2012 onwards. So it is very recent, about 14 years old is what the institute is all about. And this one, NIFTEM Thanjavur, existed as in a different name for the last 75 years and was converted to and that's the reason why you say 1967, and converted to a NIFTEM Thanjavur very recently. Now both are INS, which is institution of national importance, right? NIFTEM Sonipat is in 100 acres. It's in Delhi NCR, but slightly further away. The total UG students is 600, of which male is about 75%, girls are about 26%. And within the state, about 6.6%, 93% students come from outside. That is because they go through JOSA counseling. The danger of JOSA counseling is that people are getting to know institutions which are public institutions, but at the kind of score and rank that they are sitting on, they might be misled to joining at any institution because it's a public institution, and that might be, not optimizing the score and rank that you're sitting on. I'd much rather that you start also exploring the possibility of a good scholarship in a good college, a private college, where you get a course of your choice, a branch of your choice, a college of your choice possibly, but you'll also get a scholarship, and still to that extent you're paying lesser, right? But anyways, this is where we are, and the total faculty is 68. Thanjavur is established in 1967, INA again, 40 acres of land, 282 students, 45% boys, and 56% girls. About 67% are from within the state, because it actually started as a different institution, as I told you earlier, and about 33% are from outside the state. Now, that is a basic data as far as NIFTEM is concerned. I told you it was established in 2012 and became an INA in 2021. So, it's a very young institution. It's a very specialized institution which is under the control of the Ministry of Food Processing and Technology. So, it's a specialized institution to cater to those needs, right? Now, the important thing, what is the ranking of these institutions? Both participate separately, but both are in the rank band of 101 to 150 as far as engineering is concerned. And I'm now talking of Btech and JOSA. So, let's talk of just engineering part of it. Both are in the 101 to 150 band. Do they justify that band? We'll talk about it separately. But I do think that for the quality of students that they have, they deserve, somewhere I do think that the students are not getting, for the quality of students that they are, they're not getting the kind of student outcome, which is placement, that they deserve, right? Now, by the way, NIFTEM is the only dedicated technology institute with national importance status in India, governed under a parliamentary act. So, it's like IITs, like NITs, like IIITs, this is also an INA at this point in time. Sorry, IIITs are not INIs, by the way, sorry, right? Now, what are the programs NIFTEM Sonipat offers? They offer a 4-year Btech Food Technology and Management program, which is 4-year, 200 seats, JEE Main, NEET, and CUET. So they actually have 3 pathways to get into the institution. I'll stick with the Btech only at this point in time. The MTech I'll skip for the time being, right? Now, the Thanjavur one has a Btech program, which is Food Technology, 4 years, 8 semesters, 90 seats is what they have. Then they have MTech and PhD also. Now look at the placements, which is very important for the students when they're looking at this whole thing, right? The placement for NIFTEM Sonipat. Now, just don't look just at the placement, but look at the entire data set that we are presenting to you. The student intake, sanctioned intake was 180. The sanctioned intake is 180. Plus 10 because they also have through the DASA thing, which is the NRI students and all, right? Of the 180, they could actually admit only 160. If you look at the previous also, it's a similar thing. 169 was the sanction intake, they could only admit 122, 180 and only 150. So, every year the number of students that they can admit and the actual number of students that are admitted is lesser. By about 15, 20, 30% also. 180 and 160, about 10% lesser. Earlier it was about 20% lesser and so on and so forth. That's the first thing. So, they're not able to admit all students. Why is it so? Obviously, there is not much demand for the kind of course that they offer. It's a specialized institution. So, to that extent, unless students are really interested. But the danger that is happening is some of the students who are not interested in food technology also are coming and joining this particular institution. Because in every counseling session, I do find people who talk of NFSU and NIFTEM and all, which are specialized institutions. But because they're a part of JOSA counseling, it becomes a part of the consideration set. Now, that is good and that is bad also, because people who are not interested in the course also are joining these particular institutions and they'll get stuck there at some point, right? Now, of these 160 students, 135 students graduated. So, now you look at this whole thing, you actually have 180 is the intake, 160 were admitted, only 135 graduated, right? Now, of the 135, 74 were placed. Right. So, we talk of intake, right? This is the admitted, right? Graduated and placed, right? Now, when you actually have that 180 students, 160, 135 and 74, if you look at it from the 180 numbers and 74 placed, work backwards, you will understand that the placement is less than 40%. Right? And it starts from there. My problems, it's about just about 40, 41, 42%. In the sense that you're not able to even admit the number of students that you actually have a sanction intake. Then between these two, there are 25 students who dropped out. Why did they drop out? Did they fail or did they leave the institution because they did not like it? 25 students, that's quite a bit of a number because you're dealing with 15% of the students dropping out. That doesn't happen in good institutions. So one, you cannot admit students. Two, there are dropouts after do that. And after 135 students, graduated, only 74 sat for placement. What happened to the others? They obviously say that they're more for higher education. I don't believe that, but because in good institutions at a Btech program level, people do sit for placement because Btech is meant to be that you finish the education, then sit for placement, have a work experience, and then go on for higher education also. Unless it's an integrated program, but this is not an integrated program; it's a 4-year program. So when I look at those numbers, I have many questions in my mind. And by the way, of the 74 who are placed, the median salary is 7.1 lakh rupees. This is for NIFTEM Sonipat. Now let's look at the next set of numbers. This is for again we're talking of Sonipat here. Let's be very clear of the placement percentage is about 55% is what they say, right? 74 on 135. 135. 74 on 130 was 55% placement. I would actually look at 74 on 160. Then it becomes less than 45%. And if I look at it at 180, it is 40%. So that is the danger. And then the median salary is 7.1 lakh. Now you look at another data that which bothers me is the highest closing rank to get into NIFTEM through the JOSA counseling is 1.22 lakh. Now when you look at 1.2 lakh, you're dealing with about 92, 93 percentile students. Do you think a 92 or 93 percentile student deserves this kind of a thing? Don't you think at a 90 percentile and above, you will actually be getting into a better college in a course of your choice and you will actually have a better student outcome, which is the placement that you talk about. It is something that you must look at carefully. How do you optimize the score or rank that you have in your hand to get into the best college and the best course as a combination, as a choice that will get you the best student outcome? And that is something that I would want you to look at very seriously or ponder and think about and look at the options that are there. But when I look at this 1.2 lakh as the highest closing rank, which means that, remember, it's the highest closing rank, which means there are a lot of people below that also. Someone would have been 30,000 rank, 40,000 rank, 50,000 rank and would have still joined NIFTEM. And when you deal with that, we're dealing with 98 percentile, 97 percentile, because remember, this is the highest closing rank. So that is another problem that I have here, that some of the best students are getting into this kind of a student outcome. Now, if I look at Thanjavur, again, it's a similar case, right? Students admitted, sanction intake is 90, what they admitted is 65. So we're dealing with about 1/3 of the students not even getting admitted. From the 65, 62 graduated, so most people graduated, 48 were placed, right? And 14 students moved for higher education is what they say. But the median salary here is 4,06,000. The median salary is 4,06,000. Now, when I look at this 4,06,000 and superimpose that with the kind of rank, we're dealing with 4,06,000, 3,65,000, 4 lakh, and placement being 77, 66, and 44% also there was a placement in the previous year. 4,06,000, the highest closing rank is 1,04,649, which means we're dealing with a 94 percentile kind of a student, 93, 94 percentile student. At that percentile, you're getting 4,06,000 with the possibility of placement being only 75%. It's also been 45% at one point in time. Again, have the students made the right choice of joining this college with the kind of percentile that they were sitting on? That bothers me because when you say 1,04,000 is the highest closing rank, imagine there would be also another 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 rankers, because 90 students is what their intake is, 65 is what their intake has been, admitted has been, and some of them would be actually much higher percentile, 95, 96, 97, 98 percentile also possibly. And that is what we need to be looking at closely. So for me, the simple thing is this: are you able to optimize and making this choice of NIFTEM because you're interested in food technology, because you're interested in this kind of specialized space, or are you doing it just because it's going through the JOSA counseling part? And that is something that bothers me, because across the board, when you look at this Thanjavur placement I showed you earlier, right? 58 students registered for placement, 31 were placed, and 17 opted for higher studies is what they say. I'm only concerned about BTech now. I'm not getting into MTech. By the way, MTech also they could not, admit all students. 7, 8, and 8 is what they have, right? Now, so that is the part that I'm bothered about. Now, let me give you some details about the institution itself and the admission process. Of the 200 seats that they have, 90 are going through JOSA CSAP counseling, and the balance is through NEET, CUT 30, JEE Mains 50, right? And NIFTEM K admission portal you need to apply. Applications, etc. True. So if you're a NEET or a CUT student also, 110 seats are there for you. Through the JOSA and CSAP counseling, 90 are there. So here in the direct admission, you actually use the JEE Main rank to get into the space, right? And in all, there are 200 seats, as I told you. This is for NIFTEM Sonipat. For NIFTEM Thanjavur, it's Btech Food Technology is full time. It's a 4-year program. 75% in class 12, PCM plus English, or top 20% of the board is what they require. 65% minimum qualifying marks for SC, ST, PWD. JEE Main 2026 paper 1 All India rank is what they'll consider. JOSA and CSAP counseling, 90 BTech seats is what they have. Right. The fee is very, very moderate. That is one reason why a lot of students prefer this. Right. The fee is about 1.25 lakh for general and 73,000 for and this per year, first semester. And that's how it is. Year 1 total is 99,500 rupees is what you have. 99,500 is what you have. So because of the fee structure, because it's a public institution, a lot of students invariably jump onto this, not fully understanding that the student outcomes for the kind of quality of the student might be suboptimal. Now about the scholarships that they actually have Institute Merit cum Means Scholarship, which is 1,000 rupees per month on top 5 ranking students per batch based on previous semester performance. Institution free studentship, 5,000 per semester to one outstanding undergrad student per batch based on previous semester performance. So if you perform well, you actually get some scholarship. Institute notional prize, 5,000 one-time award plus certificate of merit for one student per batch, 2nd to 4th year based on annual ranking. And similar thing, they also have Anilandaka Award Scholarship and SC/ST tuition fee waiver, 100% tuition fee waiver at NIFTEM Thanjavur for SC/ST students. Kundli SC/ST is 70,000, so it is reduced. 40% is lesser in Kundli, but in Thanjavur it's 100% free waiver. EWS need-based students from low-income families, annual income of less than 2.5 lakhs with strong academics may qualify for additional support also. Which means if you're EWS candidate, you can ask for additional support also. What are the companies that come for recruitment? Because you are talking of food technology, you will invariably look at companies which are into that space, which is Nestle, PepsiCo, Mondelez, AB InBev, Dabur, Amul, Britannia, Kellogg's, ITC, Parle, Adani Wilmar, Reliance Retail. That is for the global FMCG. Then you have e-commerce, which is Big Basket, Amazon, Licious, Hypersure, Godrej Agrovat, Lactalis, Jubilant Foodworks, LT Foods, McCormick, MTR, Haldiram's, Tetra Pak. Then you have tier 3, which are emerging and niche players, Louis Dreyfus, Blue Tokai, Anmol, Akshay Kalpa, Sickle Innovations, Hatson Agro. So you actually have a few other institutions also. But all these are good companies. But remember what I told you about the median salary. We're dealing with 4 lakh for Thanjavur and about 7 lakh for Sonipat. But more importantly, only 65-70% of the students are only getting placed. That too after a lot of students moving out of placement process itself. That is something that you must keep in mind. So the reason why we did this entire video is simple. You have a JEE Main rank in your hand. You need to understand what is a good college for you to get into. Don't get into NIFTEM if you're a CS AI and looking for high placements. Don't get into NIFTEM if you're not looking for a specialized career in food technology and entrepreneurship and management. It's not a norm. It's a very, very specialized thing. And if you're not interested in food technology, don't jump into it because it's a part of the JOSA counseling, because you'll only burn your fingers, you will not like the course. And that's the reason why you see a lot of dropout. One, they could not admit all the students. 2, of the admitted students also, you actually have a lot of dropout. About 15% students drop out. Why do they drop out? It's something that all of us need to ponder about, and that is something that you must be aware of before you jumping onto NIFTEM through the JOSA counseling process. I hope this helps you. Please do subscribe to Btech360. Thank you so much. Namaste.